Every year, millions of people from all over the world embark on one of the most incredible spiritual journeys you can imagine, the Hajj. But what actually happens during this massive pilgrimage? Well, if you've ever been curious about the rituals and what they all mean, you are in the perfect place. We are going to break it all down, step by step. Just try to picture it, millions of people from every single corner of the globe, all standing together as one. Your race, your status, your wealth, all of that just melts away, symbolized by the simple white clothes that everyone wears. It is such a powerful, powerful display of unity, which is why for so many, this is, without a doubt, the greatest journey of a lifetime. So what is the Hajj exactly? Well, it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It's a pilgrimage that every adult Muslim who is physically and financially able is meant to make at least once. This whole amazing event happens in Makkah, Saudi Arabia, over 5 days during the very last month of the Islamic calendar, a month called Dhul-Hijjah. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a spiritual prelude called Umrah, and then we're going to walk through each and every day of the Hajj, from the tents of Mina and the plains of Arafah all the way to the final rites in the farewell. Let's dive right in. Now, before those 5 main days of Hajj even get started, most pilgrims who arrive in Makkah will first perform something called the Umrah, or the Western pilgrimage. You can kind of think of it as a spiritual warm-up, you know? It sets the stage for the main event. The very first step is to enter a sacred state called Ihram. And this is so much more than just the clothes, which for men are 2 simple unstitched white cloths, and for women, just simple modest clothing. It's a mental and spiritual commitment. You make it at a special designated point called a miqat, and it signals that the pilgrimage is officially beginning. By shedding all those worldly signs of wealth and status, every single pilgrim enters a state of total equality before God. So as you can see, Umrah has 4 core steps. First step is the Tawaf, which is circling the sacred Kaaba 7 times. After that comes the Sa'i, which is a brisk walk between 2 small hills, Safa and Marwa, also done 7 times. And the last step is to either trim or shave your hair. Once all that is done, the Umrah is complete, and pilgrims can exit that state of Ihram until the Hajj officially begins. Alright, now we're getting to the main event, the 5 core days of Hajj. It all officially kicks off on the 8th day of the month of Dhul-Hijjah. Here's just a quick look at the timeline for you. Day 1 is all about getting ready in a place called Mina. Day 2, that's the absolute climax at Arafah. Day 3 is the Day of Sacrifice, which lines up with the global festival of Eid al-Adha. And finally, days 4 and 5 are for the last of the stoning rituals. So, day 1 begins with pilgrims entering the state of Ihram all over again. But this time, their intention is specifically for Hajj. They start chanting this beautiful prayer called the Talbiyah, which means, "Here I am, O God, here I am." From there, they travel to a massive city of tents called Mina. They spend the day and the night there just worshipping, shortening some of their daily prayers, and really getting themselves mentally and spiritually prepared for what's ahead. Okay, let's move on to what is, without any doubt, the absolute pinnacle of the entire pilgrimage. Everything up to this point has been leading to this one, single, momentous day. This is the day of Arafah. After the morning prayer in Mina, pilgrims make their way about 14 kilometers to a vast plain called Arafah. And here, they will spend the entire day, from around noon all the way until sunset, just standing in sincere worship. This is a day for really deep personal prayer, for repentance, and for begging God for forgiveness. And then after the sun sets, the journey continues to a place called Muzdalifah. You really can't overstate the spiritual significance of this day. It's believed that on the day of Arafah, God's mercy is just boundless, and that He forgives the sins of everyone who stands on this plain and sincerely prays. I mean, you can only imagine how powerful and emotional this experience must be for every single person there. While spending the night out under the stars in Muzdalifah, pilgrims have a pretty important job to do. They have to collect these small, chickpea-sized pebbles. They'll need around 49 or 70 of them for the stoning rituals that are going to happen over the next 3 days. Let's move on to day 3. The 10th of Dhul-Hijjah. Now this is by far the busiest, most jam-packed day of the entire Hajj. It also happens to mark the start of the worldwide Muslim festival of Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice. The order of the rituals on this day is absolutely crucial. So pilgrims start with Rami, which is stoning the largest of 3 pillars. Next up is the Qurbani, or the animal sacrifice. After that, they shave or trim their hair. and that's the signal that they can now remove their Ihram clothes. The day then climaxes with a trip back to Makkah for one last essential circling of the Kaaba, which is called the Tawaf Ziyarah. You know, these rituals are absolutely packed with symbolism. The stoning, or Rami, represents Prophet Abraham's total rejection of temptation from the devil, and the sacrifice, the Qurbani, commemorates Abraham's incredible act of faith, his willingness to sacrifice his own son when God commanded him to. So these aren't just physical actions, they are powerful spiritual reminders. After the sheer intensity of day 3, the pilgrimage still isn't quite over. Pilgrims head back to that tent city of Mina to complete the final rites of Hajj over the next day or two. So on both day 4 and day 5, that stoning ritual happens again, but this time, pilgrims have to stone all 3 pillars, not just the big one. They throw 7 pebbles at each, starting with the smallest, then the middle, and ending with the largest. It's a time for continued prayer and reflection. And just like that, we're at the end of the Hajj. But before leaving the holy city of Mecca, there is one last, mandatory ritual that every single pilgrim has to perform. This is the Farewell Tawaf. Pilgrims circle the Kaaba a final 7 times. They offer a special prayer, and they drink water from the sacred well of Zamzam. And with that, their Hajj is officially complete. They can now leave Makkah, hopefully with a completely renewed spirit and forgiveness for all their past sins. Now here's a little pro tip. While this isn't technically an official part of the Hajj, it's something that is very highly recommended. Most pilgrims will actually travel to the nearby city of Madinah to visit the mosque and the grave of the Prophet Muhammad, to pay their respects before they head back home. So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, a successful Hajj is really all about preparation, both spiritual and practical. That means learning the prayers, having tons of patience with the crowds, following the Prophet's example, and most importantly, keeping your intention purely and solely for God. From that profound sense of equality you get in Ihram, to the incredible emotional release on the plains of Arafah, the Hajj is just an amazing journey of faith, endurance, and renewal. So now we gotta ask you, which part of this pilgrimage resonates with you the most? Let us know.